with another breakdown of UFC Vegas 100 Magny versus Prates. We back with another breakdown of a card that is okay. I don't mind it. I think it's a fine card. It's taken a few hits during the week, losing Cody Garbrandt, losing Nicholas Dalby, even if they did find a replacement for him. Like, it's not a strong card, but if you know the fighters on it, it's not terrible. Like, just in the main event, you got Prates, who's great. Bernardo Sopai, who's great, debut that Ritter dude, Gillian Robertson, some Contender Series debuts. It's a fine card. Again, is it great? No. But is it bad? I don't think so. On paper, at least. I think it's fine. I really don't have a problem with it. Fuck, it's better than 309 next week, so shit, it's that simple. Excuse me. Yeah, not very much more I can say. I think this is a fine card. The 100th and happily, well, I think thankfully would be a better word, last Apex card to 2025, which I know is not. I know that's only 4 cards, I believe, 4 or 5 cards after this, so it's not saying a lot, but still, it's any break from the Apex is good, so. The last visit to the Apex this year till next year. The first card of the year is in the Apex, funny enough, and painfully enough, but whatever. If they can at least make the card watchable, it makes it bearable, and this card I don't mind, so. Yeah, not really much else I can think to say. I'm excited for this card. I think it's a fine card, and a lot of good names on it, a lot of good prospects. Mainly prospects, a few old heads, and we'll get to those fighters when we get to those fighters. But yeah. Besides that, we had 12 fights, still, even with all the cancellations, and I'm excited. So the 100th Apex fight night, not counting the pay-per-views, cause I think it would be at like 110, 120 if we did. And besides that, ready to break down some fights. Before we do, please like, comment, subscribe. 100 subs go by the end of the year. We are at 69. We only got a few cards left this year. If we could hit 100, that'd be dope. If we don't hit 100, I get it. That's fine. I love doing this no matter what, and hope at least one person can enjoy it outside of me. So, besides that, let's ready to break down the last Apex card of the year. Let's do it. UFC Vegas 100. Let's go. Again, 12 fights after losing. Ow. And that hurt. Mainly this hurt pretty badly, but I guess it happens. Yeah, that's Cody Garbrandt, dude should be in PFL at this point, so. Either way, we're gonna begin the night in the women's bantamweight division with, funny enough, a fight that had a cancellation to get to this point. And then our first fight of the night, in the worst division in the UFC, the women's bantamweight division, in close race with heavyweight for the shittiest division, but I think bantamweight takes the cake, and you might see why. As in our opening fight of the night in the women's bantamweight division, we have no mess Melissa Mullins. I guess she's not Tanya Mullins anymore. I guess that was a one-time thing. Versus, fuck saying this name, Klaudia Syguła. I think I actually said it right, funny enough. As I said, funny enough, we begin the night with a fight that had a cancellation. This was meant to be Mullins versus Montserrat Rendon, but sadly Rendon pulled out a few weeks ago, and Syguła stepped in, so Mullins stays on the card, and now she begins the card. And we begin this breakdown by talking about her. So let's do it. Can't speak right now. Mullins in UFC is 1-1. In her UFC debut, she beat Irina Alkasheva, and then in her last fight, she got finished by Nora Kanola. She's not very good. Like, yeah, it's funny enough, her last 2 wins were against Daria Zalesniakova and Irina Alkasheva, 2 fighters on the roster now. But it's too bad Daria is terrible, and Irina is, I think she has potential, but clearly, I think she got suspended. So, actually, I know she got suspended. I think it was because she was taking something in that fight, so she cheated and lost. So, I take that for what you will. And then losing to Nora Knoll is not a bad L. I think Nora is definitely the best fighter she's fought. I think Nora is a talented fighter, but she is beautiful, as Jacqueline Cavalcanti has shown twice now. So, like, her last 3 fights all against UFC fighters, but none of them are that great. Shit, not great, okay, and now she's fighting a debuting fighter. Fuck. If she fought Rendon, might be her best opponent, and she probably would have lost that fight pretty soundly, because I think Rendon's way better than her. So, yeah. And then talk about Mullins. I've talked about everyone but Mullins, but to talk about Mullins, she's not very good. She can't really strike. She doesn't have a lot of heart or cardio. Yeah, her ground game's okay. That's like the only decent thing about her fucking fighting ability. Like, she can get takedowns somewhat. Like, she's a fine grappler, but again, striking sucks. Fucking cardio sucks. Heart sucks. She's just not that great. And it's sad that, to a point, these Daria, Irina, Nora, Rendon, and Mullins are looked at as prospects in this division when they suck. It's the same problem heavyweight has, but at least heavyweight you can find a good fighter or two. There's really no, outside of Jacqueline Cavalcanti, who in the one family division can you call a decent prospect? No one's that good. Even the best, there's barely anyone good in the top 15, even in the top 5. So, fucking look at who's the champion of that division, one of the worst fighters in it. So, what does that tell you? But, yeah, Mullins, not very good. It's funny, this is her picture, because it's the only thing she's good at, she's okay at. She can get takedowns. That's it. That's all she did against Alkasheva. She tried to do that against Nora. She finally just kneed her in the body and fucking put her down. She's just not very good, and she got fraud-checked in her last fight. She's 33 years old, she's inexperienced, she's not very talented. I don't know, she's just not good. Not the simplest way I could put it. I'm not really sure what else to say about Melissa Mullins. She had a decent debut, but hindsight, against a not a great fighter, and then she lost to Nora, who, again, I don't think's bad, but yeah. So, not really much positive to say about Melissa. And then to talk about her debuting opponent, Klaudia Syguła from Poland. Poland finally has another female in the UFC, because I think Karolina Kowalkiewicz has been carrying that pole alone, and funny enough, she's on this card. Of course, Syguła is making her UFC debut. She stepped in on short notice a few weeks back. Never seen her a day in my life until this fight got booked. I don't see anyone recognizable on her record. She's done bare knuckles, that's pretty fucking cool. Yeah, she's not fought anyone I've ever heard of, record-wise. She's kind of been beating cans. Her best opponent was 5-2. It looks like she's just mainly a striker. She's 25 years old, very young. I don't really know what else to say. Maybe she can look good. Maybe she's good. I highly doubt it since it's a woman's bantamweight, but maybe she's good. I'm not gonna hold my breath, but you never know. So, Klaudia, welcome to the UFC. Let's see if you have any talent. Respect for stepping in on short notice. Besides that, the Bangouts first fight have Melissa Mullins minus 260 to plus 195. I don't know if that's how they should be. I'm guessing, just going off what I know about Melissa Mullins, this should probably be a little closer since Mullins is not good. I would say, just going off my knowledge of Mullins, she should probably be minus 140, 150. Like, she's just not that good of a fighter, and I just can't, I've not seen anything in her game to warrant a minus 260 unless Syguła just can't stop a takedown. But I'm gonna guess she's gonna at least try, and like, if Syguła can stop a takedown and has decent cardio, she can easily win this fight. It's all you need to beat Mullins. So, she's already the better striker, we know that for a fact. What's the size? She's an inch taller, we don't know her reach. And she's much younger. Both 6-1, but one's coming off 6 wins in a row, the other's coming off their first career L. It's a low-level fight, as expected at women's bantamweight, and I doubt either of them are good. I'm guessing Syguła's probably trash, but I don't know. We'll see. Who am I going with in this fight? Do I dance with the devil I know or the devil I don't know? Usually I would go with the devil I know, but fuck it, give me the debuting fighter I've never seen before, because maybe she's good. I guess my pick, Klaudia Syguła by decision. Maybe she's good. I don't know. But besides that, if you can stop a takedown and you have cardio, you can win this fight. So, yeah. My pick, I guess, is Klaudia Syguła. I guess. I don't really know how to break down this fight when I've never seen one fight. So, yeah. Excuse me. Besides that, Klaudia Syguła by decision. All I can really say. After that, we go to our second fight of the night. Somehow an even lower level fight, and easily the worst fight on the card. How this is a UFC fight, I'll never know. As in our second fight of the night in the middleweight division, we have a can versus can mega fight between Tresean, Mr. Vicious, Gore versus Antonio Mavado Trócoli, how the fuck you say it, weirdo. Dude's just a fucking weirdo more than anything, so, yeah, these two are fucking terrible. This is one of the lowest level fights of the year, maybe the no, it's not a heavyweight fight. One of the lowest level fights of the year, and probably the lowest outside of heavyweight, so let's just get this breakdown over with real quick. We'll start with Tresean Gore, who's back from the dead after a 2-year break. His last fight was in 2 days before Halloween in 2022. It's a week after Halloween in 2024. Nice. Gore in the UFC is 1-2, coming off the Ultimate Fighter, where he made it to the finale but lost to Brian Battle. Then after that, he got KO'd by Cody Brundage, and he did finally get a win against Josh Fremd, who's ass. So yeah, he's not good. He hits hard, and that's about it. Yeah, he can do a submission, but it's not a strong suit. He has beaten no one good. His best win's Gilbert Urbina, who's not a world beater. Actually, is not good. Like, losing to Brian Battle is understandable. You got knocked out by Cody Brundage, who can't fucking fight. At least you can beat Josh Fremd, but fuck, what did that really say? So, I don't know. He's older now. He is 30, but he's 4-2, so he's old and inexperienced. He's terrible. All he can do is hit hard, so that's the only thing he's half decent at. And even then, he's not really good at that either, clearly, when Cody Brundage hits harder. So, yeah. I don't know. Why he's still in the UFC, I don't fucking know. They love the most random fighters. Speaking of random fighters they love, Antonio Trócoli. Oh, Christ. Mackenzie Dern's boyfriend. Trócoli is 0-1 in UFC, coming out of Contender Series in 2021. Fuck, I thought Tresean Gore was fucking inactive. Trócoli, in his debut on short notice, he fought Shara Bullet, got fucking annihilated, and that was that. Yeah, he's terrible. Like, yeah, I get he fought Shara in his debut on short notice, but that's not really a good excuse, because Shara is trash. Besides that, he's the most notable dude he's beat is nobody. The most notable dude he's fought outside of Shara, I guess he fought Diego Lima. And he lost, shockingly. Besides that, he fought nobody, beat nobody. Oh, he wasn't. Oh no, he lost on the Contender Series. Or had it overturned. I thought it was this fight. That makes it worse. 2019 was a Contender Series. 2021, I guess the UFC saw this fight and was like, oh, let's sign him. What the fuck? Why is this dude here? He's awful. And he's a fucking weirdo. He got arrested like a month ago for doing some stupid shit. He like beat up Mackenzie's ex. It's like, dude, you're fucking weird. Like, second time he's beat someone, or at least tried to beat someone up. And for no reason. Tried it with Bobby Green, who probably would have beat him up, so I don't get it. So, this dude's a fucking loser. That's simple. The bang on first fight have Tresean Gore minus 180 to plus 145. You guys are really nice. I would say Gore maybe minus 150 at most, but fuck, I'm almost leaning minus 130. But I'll say minus 150. I think Gore's the better fighter. I don't know why. I just think he's a little bit better. I don't like him being way shorter, in like by 5 inches in both categories, and being off for 2 years against a guy who at least just fought a few months ago. So, outside of that, I don't really got much. They both suck. I'll go Tresean Gore. Again, I think he's a little better, but I think that's not a high bar. I think they're both god-awful, and I don't think either can even sniff UFC level, so they both suck. Give me Tresean Gore by decision. This is gonna be sloppy. Like, if you thought the Jamie Lynn Horth fight from last week was sloppy, this is gonna look like two fucking amateur sparring, and it might be, so give me Tresean Gore by decision. They both suck. After that, we get to real fighters for the first time on this card, and at the bantamweight division, just we switch genders. As in our third fight of the night in the men's bantamweight division, we have our first real fight of the night, unless that Syguła chick is good, which I doubt it. As in our third fight of the night, our first real fight of the night, we have Cody the Spartan Stamann versus Stamann the Monster Blackshear. Wow, two fighters we've actually heard of and seen before and are not, well, at least one of them's not complete garbage, the other, yeah, well, that's a different story. But, yeah, finally, okay, barely UFC level fighters, at least one is a UFC level fighter. It's nice to see on this card, so, very well warranted and needed, so, yeah. Not very much else to say there. Let's just get into this fight, as we begin with old man Cody Stamann. He's only 34. I thought he was like 37. God, this guy sucks. Yeah, Cody in the UFC is 7-6-1. Why did we have to lose the good Cody from this card? His 7 wins are Terrian Ware, Tom, that guy, Brian Caraway, Alexandro Perez, Brian Kelleher, Eddie Wineland, and Luana Larceta. His losses are actor Lame Sterling, Jimmy Rivera, Rob, Saeed, Douglas Silva D'Andrade, and Taylor Lapulus, and he has a draw with Song Yadong somehow. Yeah, Stamann's trash. He's always been trash. He's not a fighter. All he's gonna do is try and cuddle you. Like, he's fucking terrible. His best win is what? Fucking Eddie Wineland or Brian Keller in past 2020? Like, Larceta's ass. No one even knows who half of these dudes are. I'd Caraway maybe, but the other ones, who? And he's, every time he loses to someone people have actually heard of. So, and to be fucking 2-4 in your last 6 is not a great look. Your last fucking win being in 2023, and you fought twice after that. Like, he's terrible. I've never thought Cody was anything special. He can't really fight. He can just cuddle you. It's funny, he mainly loses to grapplers like Saeed, Merab, and fucking Aljo, because all he tries to do is smell your fucking nuts. So it's kind of funny that he gets karma put on him every time, because he deserves it. Maybe learn how to fight, dude. Like, maybe stop trying to just sniff some dude's fucking armpits and nuts and learn how to fight. You've been in the UFC long enough for what, 10 years? He's not only been in the UFC since 2017. Damn. His fights are so shitty, it feels like he's been around longer. Yeah. He's terrible. He can't strike, he can only grapple, and clearly he's not even that good at that, so... Stamann sucks, and I've always stayed the same on that opinion. He's ass. He can't fight. He's a bona fide scrub. To talk about his opponent, Daman Blackshear. Good to see Daman staying active, being 2-3-1 in the UFC over the last few years. Only 2 years in the UFC. His 2 wins are, funny enough, Luana Lacerda and Jose Johnson. He has lost to Farid Basharat, Mario Batista, and Monto Jackson, and he had a draw with Yusuf Zalal in his debut up at featherweight. Since moving on to bantamweight to go 2-3 is not bad. Yeah, the guy, that's a negative record, but look who he's lost to. Farid Basharat, very good. Mario Batista, he's a bitch. And Monto Jackson, who's really good. So, yeah, it's good to see him back fighting consistently after a long break in between the Batista and Jackson fight. So, good to see him back, especially after an 18-second knockout, so, which was brutal. But that's just how good Monto Jackson is. He can drop a dude like Daman in 18 fucking seconds. So, and just impressive more than anything. Yeah, Daman is really good. He's not a great striker, but he can strike. He's definitely a really good grappler. Dude pulled off a fucking twister last year. The submission of the year. Yeah, 9 submissions on his record. He's a really good grappler. He's only 30. His record's pretty deceiving. He's a lot better than his record says. He's definitely a lot better than a 14-7 fighter. And, yeah, again, his losses are 2 ranked guys and Farid Basharat, who's gonna be ranked sooner than later. So, and also, he's fought a few UFC guys before the UFC, and fucking Moutinho, Sabatini, Sabatello, who should be in the UFC. So, he's lost to some pretty big names, and he usually beats the nobodies or layups he gets, so... Yeah, not really much else I can say. He's a solid fighter. He's a really good grappler. His striking is not amazing, but he's not had... Well, actually, it's kind of probably needed better striking. He might have won a few of these fights, so... Yeah, it happens. Besides that, let's see if he can get back on track after losing 2 in a row to 2 ranked fighters. Let's keep that in mind again. He's not losing to scrubs. So, yeah. The Bangouts first fight have Daman Blackshear minus 250 to plus 190. I don't know if I would say 250, because it's pretty much grappler versus grapplers. And in that scenario, 2 things will happen. Either one of 2 things will happen. If it's a complete striking match because of it, then Daman will win pretty easily, because Cody can't strike, and Daman's the way better striker. But if it's a grappling match, it's gonna be pretty interesting. As I said, Cody usually loses when he fights grapplers, funny enough, and Daman's a pretty good grappler. He's definitely Cody's just gonna lay on you. Daman actually wants to try and finish you, so that definitely leans in Daman's favor when it comes to grappling advantage. So, yeah, I guess Daman should be around that. Now, I probably have minus 210. Like, he should win. He's a better fighter. Again, striking, he's better. Grappling, he's better. Cardio, maybe Cody leans there, but I guess it's competitive. He's younger. He's fought better competition lately. Montel, Farid, compared to just his last 2 wins, are a little bit better than this. So, yeah. Give me Stamann Blackshear by decision. Probably not going to be a great fight. It's probably just going to be a grappling match or a low-level striking match. And either way, I think Stamann Blackshear is going to be the better fighter and should win that. So, give me Stamann Blackshear by decision. Probably not an exciting fight, but Cody Stamann losing will always be pretty exciting. And hopefully, I get to put him on the chopping block finally. Please, MMA gods, please. Stamann Blackshear by decision. Just be the better fighter, as you should be. Pretty simple. After that, we go to our fourth fight of the night, going up a lot of pounds to the welterweight division for a weird fight. Not a great fight, but an interesting fight. As in the welterweight division, for our fourth fight of the night, we have Charles Chuck Buffalo Radtke versus Matthew Semi the Jedi Semelsberger. Weird fight. Very weird fight. Was not expecting to see one of these guys fight again in the UFC. I think you can tell which one. And the other one is a fine fighter, so this is going to be an interesting fight. This actually could be a really fun fight, probably the first fight of the night where it could actually be pretty good. Because these two are not bad fighters, they just are, they're interesting. It's hard to tell how good they are, so well, someone has to get a win. Let's see who it is. We'll begin with the Chuck Buffalo Charles Radtke. Radtke in the UFC is 2-1. His 2 wins are Blood Diamond and Gilbert Urbina. His 1 loss in the UFC is funny enough to a dude I think we all know very well, and we'll know better later, Carlos Prates. Yeah, his 2 wins are against terrible fighters like Blood Diamond and Gilbert Urbina. He lost to Carlos Prates. No shame in that. Yeah. Radtke is a perfectly mid fighter. His striking is okay. His ground game's decent. He actually has good power in his hands. If you watch the Urbina fight, he dropped him out cold. I did not know he fought Austin Hubbard in 2018. Yeah, he's a pretty mid fighter. Like, he's nothing special. He's never gonna set the world on fire. Never gonna be top 15. Never gonna beat any of these great fighters. But he's fine. He can beat these low-level guys, and even maybe a few, like, mid-fighters. But he's not great. He's 9-4. Like, he's not great at anything. Again, his striking's okay. He has fine power. The ground game's okay. His cardio's his cardio is not great. He's mid. He's mid. He's not he's a jack of all trades, but a master of none. So, and again, the only weakness I would say he really has is his cardio does not seem to be strong. Everything else, he's a fine striker. He's a capable striker, capable wrestler with fine power, a little bit of submission ability. He's fine. So, outside of being inexperienced and having shit cardio, he's not awful. He's just not that great either. Again, I think mid, actually probably below average. It's probably a better word for him. So, but I think he could beat some mid fighters in the division. So, yeah. So as that, not much to really say, dude. Only loss in the UFC is Carlos Prates, who's main eventing the card. Can't be mad at that. And fuck, he's beat 2 cans before. The UFC's giving him another pretty favorable matchup, so let's see if he can go 3-1. To talk about his opponent, Matt Semelsberger. Matt in the UFC is 5-5. Did not know he had that many fights. His 5 wins are Curtis Minus, Jason Witt, Martin Sano, AJ Fletcher, and Jake Matthews. His 5 losses are Chaos Williams, Alex Morono, Jeremiah Wells, quotations marks, Euros Medic, and Preston Parsons. Really, he should be 6-4. He beat Jeremiah Wells. That was a terrible robbery. Outside of that, like, Semelsberger is such a weird fighter. I did not think I'd be breaking down another one of his fights. I thought he was going to get cut after that Parsons fight because he looked terrible. And Preston Parsons is not that good, so getting beat by him pretty badly is not amazing. Like, I don't know what to really think of Semelsberger, because I think the dude that's shown a lot of talent. He has great power in his hands. If he touches you, you're going down. But outside of that, he's shown he's just kind of fell apart in fights before. His ground game at times can be amazing, at times can be amazing, and at times can be dreadful. Like, he can just show up in a fight. When he shows up, he can be great, but when he doesn't, it's just like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I get none of his wins are spectacular. Outside Jake Matthews, that's a solid win, especially that was actually pretty dominant. And then the rest of his losses, like, I get he lost to fine fighters. The worst loss is Preston Parsons, which again, it kind of goes back to my point of I'm shocked he didn't get cut. He should have beat Jeremiah Wells out of a robbery, so 6-4 if we're going realistically, that's still not great. And you've lost 2 in a row to 2 guys who you could have beat, you should have beat, one of them being Parsons. Euros at 170 is really good, so I'll give you a break there. The rest of your wins are not against great fighters. None of them are even in the UFC anymore outside of Matthews and Wells. Losing to Chaos and Morono was fine. He's just inconsistent. Again, I think the dude has a lot of talent. He's a really good striker. His ground game can really look great at times. His cardio has been decent at times. But it's the key word, at times. Because then at times, he can't strike, he can't grapple, he can't land a punch, he can't fucking fight for more than 5 minutes. So it's annoying. It's almost annoying watching him because he's just one of those inconsistent hot and cold dudes. He could either come out in this fight and flatline Radtke in seconds or get fucking mauled for 15 minutes. It doesn't make sense. Like, the guy we see from one fight to another is a different guy. Most of the time. Very rarely do we see the same guy, the same Semelsberger show up. So it's annoying. And again, as someone who thinks this guy has potential, has talent, it's fucking annoying. So I hope he wins. It'd be cool to see him win and keep his job, because I do think he's a UFC caliber fighter, but he just doesn't fight like it half the time. So let's see. Job's on the line. Shocked he hasn't already been cut. Let's see what he has, man. Let's see if job's on the line here for sure. 4 in a row. Even if you think he beat Wells like I do, it's 3 in a row. Against Radtke and Parsons beating 2 of your L's in a row. That's not amazing. Let's see what he can do. The Bang first fight have Radtke at -170 to +135. I would agree. You could have. I don't know if I'd have Radtke any higher than that. Like, the lowest I would have him is -160. He should win this fight. I think he's a better fighter. The only thing Semelsberger always will have the advantage in is power. Outside of that, I don't know what Semelsberger we're getting. Is he going to show up and fight like a good fighter? Can he stuff takedowns? Can he land punches? Can he put Radtke down? We'll find out. I'm going to go Radtke. I think that's one of the few times I've picked against Semelsberger. Yeah, one of the few times. The last time I did, I was wrong, so maybe bet on Semelsberger now. Jokes aside, it's hard not to pick Radtke here. Like, it's hard to trust Semelsberger. He's not a bad fighter, but do you trust him? I don't. Again, he could either put Radtke down in seconds or get beat brutally for 15 minutes. And I don't know which it's going to be. So, I'm going to go Charles Radtke. I think he's a better fighter. He's definitely more consistent with how he fights. And if he can just avoid getting that jaw cracked, he should win. He should win. So, shoot takedowns, gas Matt out, and just don't get hit. So, give me Charles Radtke by decision. I hate picking against Semelsberger, but it's hard not to. So, dude's inconsistent, and again, if we get the Semelsberger that looks great, cool. If we don't, cool. Give me Charles Radtke by decision. I don't know. I just can't pick Semelsberger. After that, we go to our 5th fight of the night. staying in the welterweight division, not going to waste a lot of time here since there's not much to say. As in our 5th fight of the night, staying in the welterweight division, we have Elizeu, Capoeira, Zaleski versus Zach Scroggin. Who the fuck is Zach Scroggin? Well, you noticed when I pointed out Nicholas Dalby pulled out. Zach Scroggin stepped in on, was it Monday or Tuesday? I believe it was Tuesday, so, I don't know, it might have been Monday. Yeah, I think it was a Monday, so very short notice, so respect to Zach for that, but I'm just gonna cut to the chase. Zaleski is my locks tonight. He's gonna win this fight pretty fucking easily. Zach has beaten nobodies. He's stepping in on short notice, and yeah, Zaleski is really old. He's 37 years old, but he can still fight with the best of them, so not much to say. My pick is going to be Zaleski by knockout in the first, my lock of the night. Again, I get he's old, but he can still fight with the best of them. His last 5 fights, Salikov, Benoit, Abubakar, Renat, and Randy Brown. That's a lot better, and he's done a lot better in those fights than Scoggins would, and a lot better than who Scoggins has faced. So, give me Zaleski by knockout in the first, my lock for the night. Simple as that, not much to say. After that, we go to our co-main event of the prelims, going back to the bantamweight division for a lower level fight, but a fight that could be really fun or could be really bad. Hard to really tell because these two are weird fighters. And then our co-main event of the prelims in the bantamweight division, we have Cortavious, Are You Not Entertained? Romious versus Gaston, the Dream Killer Bolaños. We'll begin with the debutante, the first of 2 from the Contender Series this year, with Cortavious Romulus. Cortavious, of course, making his UFC debut. After going 1-1 on Contender Series, he lost to Ramon Tavares, but then came back and got a very weak win. He's not good. I'm not seeing anything that good from him. The 2 fights I've seen of Romulus, he's getting flatlined by Ramon Tavares in seconds, which I don't think he's very good. I don't think Tavares is a high-level fighter. And then he beat some Michael Imperato, who I think's terrible from what I saw in that fight. So, he fought David Onama. Shocker that he lost. I haven't not seen anything from Romulus that shows he should be in the UFC. I don't think he's that good. Again, if we're just going off that win on Contender Series, he looked terrible. That fight was boring. He didn't show anything impressive against an old dude, no less. The dude was like 37, 34, about to be 35 still. I'm not impressed. I think he's one of the worst signings of the year, of the season this year. I just did not see anything that interesting from this guy. And again, I thought he looked terrible in that fight, in that contract winning quote fight. So maybe he shows up and fucking proves me wrong, but I don't know. I've not seen anything impressive from this dude. 2 fights after 2 fights on Contender Series. So let's see if Dana saw something no one else did, or at least I didn't. So let's see. Man, sorry if that was loud. To talk about his opponent, Gaston Bolaños. Gaston in UFC is 1-1. In his UFC debut, he beat Aaron Phillips, and then after that, he got fed to Marcus Magny to begin the year. Gaston, what do I say about Gaston? He's not terrible, but he's not great. He looked okay against Aaron Phillips. She should look better against Aaron Phillips, but, shit's gonna happen. It's your debut. And then he got fed to Marcus McGee, who's great. I can't hold that against him. Marcus McGee is amazing. I can't wait for him and Johnson Martinez next week. One of the few good fights on that card. Johnson, that's Marcus McGee. Simple. In 2 fights, what have I seen from Bolaños? Not a lot. He's okay. His striking's fine. He has good power in his hands when he can land. His ground game's not great. I think Aaron Phillips held him down at times. Cardio's not great. He is not the youngest in the world at 32. Very new to MMA. As you see, he did a lot of Muay Thai, so he's decent on the feet. But then cardio, not great. Ground game, very bad. Striking is good. Power is good. That's about it. Experience is bad. I don't think he's a bad fighter. I think he's just green. I think he's shown potential, but at 32 years old in the bantamweight division, how much of that potential is he going to be able to show? If you win a fight, you're going to be in a tough fight after that, so good luck. But I don't think Gaston's a bad fighter. Again, 7-4 record, not great. Coming off a loss, not great. Performances have not been outstanding, but I think the dude's okay. I've seen, if we're just comparing him to his opponent, I've seen a lot more I like from Bolaños in 2 fights than I've seen from Romious. So, yeah, I think that's a good statement to end on. So, yeah. The betting answers fight have Romious at -175 to +140. I don't agree. I really don't. I think this should either A, be a pick'em if we're being nice, or I'd have Bolaños the favorite. I think he's better. I'd have Bolaños -125, 130. Barely a favorite, but I think he should be the favorite. I think he's the better fighter. Like, if we're just gonna play the comparison game on the feet, Bolaños is better. On chin, if we're going chin wise, I think that's pretty obvious. One dude went 2 rounds with Marcus McGee almost. The other couldn't go 30 seconds for Roman Tavares. Ground game, Romious, but he doesn't really have great fight IQ. He's fucking Dana pretty much called him stupid on Contender Series, if I remember. Cardio, it leans Romious. So it's a very low level fight. They're both very green. They're both not that amazing as fighters. One dude probably shouldn't even be here. The other dude is really fucking green and has shown flashes, but not a lot. It's not an amazing fight. It's very low level, and especially it's weird to say that at bantamweight. Usually bantamweight is just talent, but you got 2 prospects here. Maybe someone's gonna come in and show out, but I don't know who. Because there's flaws in both guys' game. Romious is not. Chin is clearly not that great. Fight IQ is not great. Talent might not even be that great. And Bolaños' ground game ain't that great. Cardio ain't that great. Experience ain't that great. So it's a really weird fight to break down, and because this is pretty much a Contender Series fight because they're both so fucking green. I've seen fighters on Contender Series with more experience than these two, so I think that's gonna be a good fight, possibly, but it's a hard one to predict because it's 2 very green, inexperienced fighters. So I'm excited for this fight because I think it's gonna be really interesting. And who is my pick? Give me the underdog. I think he's a better fighter. Give me Gaston Bolaños. I've seen more from him in 2 fights against higher competition. Again, let's just compare their 2 fights. So their L's, Marcus McGee going deep into round 2, or 30 seconds for Roman Tavares, Bolaños, Aaron Phillips, or whoever the fuck Michael is. Bolaños. So, and then we're going off who looked better. Bolaños. So, give me Gaston Bolaños by decision. Could there be a finish in this fight? I could see Bolaños cracking Romulus's chin. If it's a striking match, Bolaños should win. If it's a grappling match, Romulus should win. It's gonna be interesting. It's very low level, but not in a bad way like the Tresean Gore fight. These two actually could develop and be better. Gore and Trócoli are just garbage, so yeah. Give me Gaston Bolaños by decision. It's gonna be an interesting fight. It's definitely gonna be one I feel a lot of people get wrong since it's such low level. I shocked it's so one-sided, but maybe I'm seeing maybe I'm not seeing what everyone else is. I pick Gaston Bolaños by decision. Again, could he crack Romulus's chin? Yes. Will he? I don't know. He's much bigger. 3 inches taller, an inch in reach. Interesting. Give me Gaston Bolaños by decision. Low level, should be fun. Let's see. Let's see if we're entertained. And now time for the featured prelim, which was on the main card, but after a lot of cancellations, some shit had to get moved around. And now we're ending the prelims with this ranked battle in the, well, one of them's ranked, in the straw weight division. So, not bad, not bad. Excuse me. As in our featured prelim in the straw weight division, we have Karolina Kowalkiewicz versus Denise D. Gomes. Fine fight. Bottom of the top 15 level fight. Well, not level. Bottom of the top 15 fight, because Karolina is ranked 15, Denise is trying to get that ranking. So yeah, it is a fitting fight. These two are better than unranked fighters, but not much better than ranked fighters, or they're not better than ranked fighters. Higher ranked fighters. So, let's see who gets the 15th spot. Can Karolina keep it? Can Denise take it? Let's see. Fun way to end the prelims. Let's talk about Karolina Kowalkiewicz. I've talked about it earlier, the only Polish woman left with Joanna retiring until Syguła got signed. Karolina in the UFC is 9-8. Her best wins are Randa Marcos, Heather Clark, Rose Namajunas, Felice Herring, Sylvia Gomez Suarez, Vanessa Demopoulos, and Diana Belbita. Her losses are Joanna, Klaudia Gadelia, Jessica Andrade, Michelle Watterson, Alexa Grasso, Yan Xiaonan, Jessica Panay, and Aspen Lucindo. Karolina's career definitely has to be broken into 3 categories at this point. The first part where she was a really good contender for a long time, then her long ass losing streak for many years, and then her kind of resurgence with a 4 or 5 winning streak that got her in the top 15, and now the UFC's trying to kill her, feeding her to prospects. Just had her fed to Aspen Lucindo, where she looked old, and now having her fight Denise Gomes, who is also a young prospect. So, yeah, the UFC's not really doing KK any favors after all she's done. Well, she's never had a canceled fight. Respect. Yeah, Karolina's old. It's that simple. She is 39 years old, going to be 40 next year. She just turned 39 last month. So she's old. And yeah, she went on a nice winning streak. Not against Gomez and Demopoulos are good. Belbita's ass, Herring is ass. She looked not amazing against Aspen Lucindo. She looked very old. And I'm guessing that's going to be the story of this fight as well. She's going to look very old, very slow, and probably just get beat up. So, it sucks since KK has been around forever. She's done a lot in the UFC. An OG, one of the few strawweight OGs still kicking. Her, Rose, Andrade. But time waits for nobody, and she's knocking on the retirement's door, so maybe she can keep fighting back the clock, but I doubt it. Good luck, though. To talk about her opponent, Denise Gomes. Denise in the UFC is 3-2. Her 3 wins are Bruna Brazil, Yasmin Hawagui, and Eduarda Mora, and her 2 losses are Lumaluk Bumi and Angela Hill since coming out of Contender Series, beating a UFC fighter and fucking Rayan Amanda. Gomes is a weird fighter. She's had really great performances, like the Bruna and Yasmin fight, and then she's looked terrible against Luma and Angie. It's weird, but it's understandable. Like, she ran through Bruna Brazil, which is aging really nicely. She fraud checked Yasmin, which is aging pretty nice. Well, actually, it's not aging greatly, but she was the first to do it. And then she just took Eduarda Mora's O, which, that's a pretty nice win. And then losing to Lumaluk Bumi, that's not a problem. Luma's really good. And losing to Angela Hill, every young prospect loses to Angela Hill, so it's weird, but it almost makes sense. She's been able to beat these younger fighters who are not very, well, seems to not be the most talented, and then she's lost to the more veteran, smarter fighters, so it kind of puts her in this weird middle ground where she can beat the young fighters and then lose to the old ones, and she's young herself. She's 24 years old, so she's good. She shows potential. She has really good power in her hands. She's a pretty decent fighter. Her ground game's iffy, but she's pretty decent, and she's decent. She's failed at getting in top 15 before against Angie, but this is a way more favorable matchup against Karolina, who's much older than Angie, much more washed than Angie, and just not as good as Angie. So, a 24-year-old versus a 39-year-old, MMA math, not even MMA math is telling you Denise Gomes should win this fight. She's younger, she's faster, she's better at this point. We'll see but she has looked mid in the past, again, let alone against an older fighter, so we'll see what happens. I'm intrigued to see if Gomes can finally break through. She's had the performances to get her into these fights, she's just not been able to win that fight afterwards, so let's see what she can do. The betting odds for this fight have Denise Gomes minus 430 to plus 310. I don't know if I'd have her that big of a favorite. Was she a giant favorite against Angie? Man, not really. I would have Denise minus 290, right on the verge of 300. She should win. I'm not going to dispute that. I'm going to pick her. My pick is Denise Gomes. But I don't know if she should be minus 450, 430. Karolina, the veteran, she could just expose the weaknesses in Gomes' game, which is experience. She's not the most experienced. She's only 9-3 at 24 years old. Like, she has shown weaknesses in her fucking performances, Gomes. Like, if she can't land that power shot, sometimes she has fell apart, like the Lumaluk Bumi fight. Her ground game is not amazing, and Karolina's ain't great either, but it might be better. So, Gomes should win, but it's just a weird feeling that I'm like, I don't think she should be this giant favorite. She, like, minus 290 is not giant, but it's reasonable, I think. She's younger, she should be better. Give me Denise Gomes by decision. I could see her cracking Karolina's chin if she can land a right shot, but more than likely, she'll probably just beat her up like Asman did en route to a decision. So give me Denise Gomes by decision. Show that you should be a minus 430. I don't know if she should be, but either way, you should win. So, could KK pull the upset? I guess, but I'm gonna go Denise Gomes by decision to end the prelims with a bang. Well, or a decision. But yeah, those are the prelims. Are they great? Not really. The last few fights are okay. It doesn't start off, it starts off terrible. Then it gets a little mid, And then I think the last 4 fights are solid. This could be fun. This should be quick. This could be fun. This could be okay. So we start pretty bad. We end pretty decently. So not a bad prelims. Now we move on to the main card. 5 more fights. A mix of good and interesting. So let's just get into it with our main card opener, 55 minutes in, so why waste any more time? And then our main card opener in the middleweight division, we have a fight moved up from the prelims to the main card with Mansur Abdul-Malik versus Duško Thunder Todorović. Debutant versus pretty bad fighter. We've seen these before. Let's see what happens. To be in our main card, we'll begin with Mansur Abdul-Malik. Mansur is making his UFC debut off Contender Series. He won it in the first main event of the season in week 1, smashing Wes Schultz over 2 rounds. I swear that went into round 3. This kid is good. He's inexperienced. His cardio definitely looked faded at times, but he has a really good power. He has a good ground game. This guy definitely was one of the most interesting fighters from the season, and I'm very intrigued to see how he does here. He was the main event of the first episode for a reason. He ended it with a bang. We've only seen him go into round 2 one time, and that was that Contender Series fight, so I guess he has that experience under his belt, but again, his cardio wasn't amazing. He's not really fought anyone good outside of Schultz, and even he's not a world beater. Let's see what this guy can do. He's very. A lot of people are keeping an eye on him after that Contender Series fight. And I get it. He looked good. Now let's see how he does. The UFC's given him a very favorable matchup against a very bad fighter in Duško Todorović. So let's see how he does. I'm intrigued. 6-0, 27 years old, very powerful, very good. Let's see what he can do. A lot of question marks with him, though. That's the problem. To talk about his opponent, Patrick Star Todorović. Duško in UFC is 3-4. Really should be 3-1. His 3 wins are... Oh, he came out with Contender Series. Wow. His 3 wins are Daquan Townsend, Maki Patolo, and Jordan Wright. His 3 losses are Punele Soriano, Gregory Rodriguez, and Chidi Njokuani, and he pretty much had no contest with CLD because he blew out his knee. He's never been a good fighter, if we're being honest. Duško is not very good. He's very hittable. His chin sucks. His ground game ain't great. Cardio sucks. He's not a really good fighter. I've not been impressed with him. Never have been. His 3 wins are against 3 tomato cans. He's a glass cannon, I guess would be a good term for him, because he can throw. Like, yes, all 3 of his wins are by ground and pound knockout, but all 3 of his, mainly he loses by decision, outside of RoboCop, or mainly he loses by finish, outside of RoboCop and COD blowing out his knee. Somehow he has a win against Michelle Pereira. Fuck if I know how. But, yeah, Duško, pretty much a glass cannon, not that good, coming off a knee injury over a year ago, now having to debut one of these young guys, having to be the test for one of these debuting guys from Contender Series. Let's see how he does. Maybe he's gotten better in the last year. I doubt it. Yeah, I'm guessing he's probably still the same shitty fighter he was, but you never know. Most likely I'm right. I guess I don't know yet. The back after the fight have Mansur Abdul-Malik minus 375 to plus 180. Yeah, like I might move down a little bit, maybe minus 340, 330, but he should win. Like, outside of just being a giant question mark in a few departments of his cardio, his fucking, how does he do against, how does he do under pressure, how does he do against fucking, what's the term I'm forgetting, like, I'm against, when someone's fighting back, and being fucking, how does he do against fucking a tough opposition who's trying to knock him out? What happens when he gets cracked good? What happens when that cardio starts to fade and he's not just dominating? So, I'm intrigued. He should win this fight, though. Duško's terrible. Duško ain't a question mark. He's just ass. No cardio, shit chin. Like, outside of having some decent power in his hands, he's just not a very good fighter. Excuse me. So, give me Mansur Abdul-Malik by... I don't think he just go 15? I doubt it. I highly doubt it. If it does, it probably favors Duško, to be honest. So, give me Mansur Abdul-Malik by knockout / TKO in the second. I don't think he does it in the first. I think it's gonna be a second round. It's the tough question with fights. How did he finish him? If he finishes it, I could see a decision, but I don't know. I feel like Duško's such a fucking glass cannon. His chin is so weak and all that. He should get finished. Though, give me Mansur Abdul-Malik by knockout in the... I'm leaning second. I was gonna go third, but if it goes to the third round, I don't know how Mansur is gonna look, so... Let's go second. So... yeah, that sounds right. Mansur Abdul-Malik by knockout in the second. I don't think he gets him out there in the first, so... second round sounds nice. He's giant reach advantage. He's younger. He's a better fighter, for being honest. Give me Mansur Abdul-Malik by knockout in the second. Mainly a TKO more than likely, but still. So, yeah, should be a good way to start the main card. What's a TKO in the second round for the debuting MAM. That's MAM. Great abbreviation. Should be a fun way to begin the main card, though. I just don't see a decision. Maybe I'll change it. I just don't see it. Besides that, let's get to our second fight of the night. Another ranked fight in the straw weight division. And this one a little more important, a little higher level to an extent, as in our second fight of the main card in the straw weight division. We have more ranked fighters with Luana Pinheiro versus Gillian the Savage Robertson. Yeah, two ranked fighters again, and at least one of them deserves to be ranked. The other, I don't know how she's got ranked, but whatever. This should be another pretty easy strawweight fight to predict, but because you never know. So let's just get into it as we begin with Luana Pinheiro. Luana in the UFC is 3-2. Her 3 wins are Randa Marcos, Sam Hughes, and Michelle Waterson after coming off the Contender Series. Her 2 losses are Amanda Hebos and Angela Hill. She's not a good fighter. She beat Randa Marcos after going full actor mode. She looked subpar against Sam Hughes. Most people think she lost to Michelle Waterson. So her winning streak was awful, and then she got wheel kicked by Amanda Hebos and submitted by Angela Hill, who's not a good grappler. So great stuff. Yeah, Pinheiro's trash. I never really saw what people saw in her. I picked Hebos as underdog. I'm pretty sure Hebos was like a decently sized. I don't know. I swear Hebos was like an underdog. Yeah. I think with Angie an underdog. I know I picked Pinheiro to lose and it was a big underdog call. Fuck! God damn it, I thought I was right. Either way, Pinheiro sucks. Her striking's okay, but outside of that, no grappling, no cardio. She's not good. 5 submission wins, my bad. Yeah, she's not got a submission in 5-6 fucking years since 2019. Good job. She's terrible, and I don't know how she got ranked after those 3 wins where she looked terrible. So she's trash. Can't really say much else. Probably gonna get finished again. We talk about her opponent, the veteran Gillian Robertson, the younger fighter somehow. Jill Robb in the UFC is 11-6. Her best wins are Molly McCann, Veronica Hardy, Cachoeira, Akapova, Piera Rodriguez, Poliana Viana, Michelle Watterson. Her losses are Mayra Bueno Silva, Macy Barber, Talia Santos, Miranda Maverick, JJ Aldridge, and Tabitha Ricci. Robertson has really just hit her stride as of late, like 4-1 in her last 5, really making a name for herself in the division, trying to get her 3rd win of the year. She's looking great. Like, yeah, her striking is still non-existent, but you don't need it when you can just take people down and beat them at will. She submitted Poliana Viana with ease. She fucking manhandled, or woman-handled, Michelle Watterson. Like, she's just been beating everyone. 9 submissions. She's looked great. She's what Mackenzie Dern wishes she was. So, yeah, again, she can't strike for shit, but again, you don't need to. Like, just get to the ground. She's pretty good at getting the fight down, so if she can get it down, she's gonna win. And lately, she's been getting it down, and she's been winning, so it is truly that simple. And for Robertson, you haven't even done anything else, so why do anything else? She's 29 years old. She's way, like I said with someone earlier, she's way better than her record shows. She's a way better fighter than 14-8. So she's really making her case for being a contender in this division. A win here, going closer to the top 10. She's making a case, and when you have someone like Verna Jandiroba, who's pretty much the same fighter as Joe Robb, we'll see what can happen. You never know. She could make a run. So, let's see what happens. She's very young still. Never know what can happen. The bang-outs out for this fight have Joe Robb minus 265 to plus 200. Yeah, it's hard to disagree. You can have her almost minus 300, maybe even minus 300. She should win this fight. She's just a better fighter. Yeah, she's a lesser striker, but if she can get this fight down easily, which she can, she should win pretty easily. So, yeah, she'll lose on the feet, but if she can get it down, easy win. So, my pick here is going to be Gillian Robertson, and I'm going to go by submission in the, I think, 2nd. Yeah, she does her best work in the 2nd round, and Pinheiro is going to be gassed by that point because she has no cardio. So, give me Gillian Robertson by submission in the 2nd. She's a better fighter, and whenever she locks in that submission, if it's in the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, Pinheiro will tap. So, give me Gillian Robertson by submission in the 2nd. Maybe I'll change that to a different round, but more than likely I'll stay with the 2nd round. So, Joe Robb, submission in the 2nd. Pretty simple. Pinheiro's just trash. It's that simple. After that, we head to our 3rd fight of the main card, and maybe the most interesting, since this is going to be a weird one. I'm very intrigued in this fight. And then our 3rd fight of the main card, in the middleweight division, we have a very interesting fight. A very interesting debut, and a big debut at that. As we have GM3 Gerald Meerschaert versus the Dutch Knight Renier de Ridder. Here we go. Renier finally in the UFC after having a pretty decent stint in 1. No, I never watched him fight, but the dude was a double champ in 1. Yeah, so let's see what this dude can do. It's a pretty big signing for the UFC. It should be, but I guess they don't think so, since he's in the fucking Apex fighting GM3, so I guess that is what it is. So, but I'm really intrigued for this fight. I think this is the most interesting fight of the night, so let's see what happens. I'll start with GM3. Not much to say. We all know GM3 by now. He can't strike. All he can do is grapple. He is on a 2-fight winning streak in 2024, beating Brian Barberena and Edmund Shabazian. I predicted that to a T, that Edmund win. Yeah, he's never changed, and he hasn't needed to. Dude's fucking 12-9 in UFC, 11 submissions. He's never won by decision, so he's clearly doing something right to get 12 wins and 11 of them by submission. So. And he's on a 2-fight winning streak at, what, 38 years old? 36 years old, and he's never known how to strike? I think he's doing good for himself, so... Yeah. We all know GM3. We all have watched him fight sometime or another. He's really good at being really bad, but somehow winning. So... If you're on the ground with him, you're in trouble. If you're on the feet with him, there's not a thing to worry about. Kind of same thing with Gillian Robertson. So, a lot of those fighters tonight, I noticed. Interesting. But, yeah, can't really waste a lot. Well, not really much to say about GM3. Like, what do you really want me to say? He can't strike, he can only grapple, and he somehow made a career out of doing that. Good for him. Pretty simple. To talk about his opponent, debuting Reinier de Ridder, 17-2, 34 years old. I don't love that. Went 7-2-1. I don't love that he's 1-2 in his last 3, but I guess that's gonna happen. He again was a double champion in 1. Did he beat anyone well known? Not really. But, yeah, he came double champ. Again, 17-2, pretty nice record. He was undefeated for a while, fucking 16-0 at one point. So, I don't know who the fuck this is, but apparently they're probably pretty good. Hopefully. And, yeah, from what I've heard, because again, I've never watched him fight, he's pretty much just like GM3. He can't strike. He's just trying to fucking grapple with you, so that's going to be an interesting way. That's going to be interesting to see someone actually try and grapple GM3 for once, since very few do. It could go really wrong or really right. Like, if this is just a striking match, I don't know who wins, because I've never seen Reinier fight. If it's a grappling match, let's see if Renier's worth the hype, because if you can beat GM3 in a grappling match, that's impressive. So, let's see what happens. I'm very intrigued. Never seen this dude fight before, so let's see if he's worth the hype. 34 years old, making his debut, clearly a pretty big signing, or at least it seems to be. So, let's see what this dude can do. He finally made it to the big leagues. Let's see if he's ready. The bang odds for his fight have Reinier minus 280 plus 215. I don't know if that's what it should be. Smarter people can fucking answer that. Clearly a fucking 80 to 20 split, I guess, is pretty accurate to what that should be. So, yeah, sure. I'm going to go Reinier de Ridder by decision. I don't know if you're going to submit GM3. I think, hasn't he only been submitted like twice? Once? Who the fuck submitted him? Jack Hermanson, which, okay, a guy who's also a very good grappler, so let's see if Reinier can do much of the same. So, yeah, not really much else to say. I'm very intrigued in this fight. Always good to see GM3 on a card, because he's a nice OG. Intrigued to see what this Reinier dude can do. Let's see if he's worth the hype. Let's see if those 2 belts were fraudulent wins or not. Like, I think one's a very respectable promotion, so I don't think their dude is gonna be signed and then fraud checked. So, but we'll see. I hope, a part of me wants GM3 to win, because it'd be so funny to see the UFC signing blow up instantly, because it's what they're a fucking joke. So, I'm excited for this fight. I'm intrigued. How this is not the co-main, I don't know, but whatever. Give me Reinier de Ridder by decision. I'm excited. I'm intrigued. Most interesting fight of the night. Let's see if this dude's legit. After that, we go to our co-main event of the evening. A fight that shouldn't be a co-main, shouldn't even be on the main card, but, you know, UFC. And then our co-main at the end of the evening, thanks to Cody Garbrandt pulling out, we now have this as our co-main, which is a fun fight, but shouldn't be a co-main, as we have in the bantamweight division once again, third time tonight, Ricky Torcios versus Bernardo the Lion King Sopai. Interesting, fun fight in the bantamweight division here. Again, not a co-main. How is this a co-main? How is this on a main card? I don't fucking know. It's a fun fight between two fun fighters, but co-main? No. Whatever. It's the UFC. They don't know what the fuck they're doing, clearly. And, yeah. Not very much I'll say there, so let's get into it. We'll begin with Quickie Ricky Torcios. Ricky in the UFC is 2-2. His 2 wins are Brady Houston and Kevin Natividad. His 2 losses are Ayman Zahabi and Raul Rosas. Ricky, I say this every time. He's so fucking weird that on Tough, he was amazing. In the finale, amazing. Since the finale, awful. Awful against Ayman Zahabi. It's not because Ayman's awful, because Ricky didn't try. Looked awful against Kevin Natividad, and looked awful against Raul Rosas after being an asshole for no reason. So, like, it's just a triple whammy since winning Tough. It's like, I don't know if he stopped caring, stopped trying, what, but the guy we saw here is not the guy we see here, and it's a fucking weird, because the guy on Tough was amazing. He's a fun fighter, but he was winning, he was good, etc., etc. The guy we see now is not very fun, not very good, kind of an asshole. I don't get it. I truly don't get it. So, I don't know if he just got happy to be here or what, but it's like, dude, you gotta actually fucking try. Like, you can't just half-ass your way after winning Tough. You gotta keep trying, dude. You're only 31 years old. You have talent. We've seen that first fucking hand. So, let's see what he can do here against a young dude like Sopai. He kinda needs this win because another L here would not look great for him, especially after his track record as of late. So, let's see what Ricky can do. Co-main, spotlight's on him. Let's see if we can get the old Ricky back. If we get the Ricky we've seen lately since Tough, yeah, he ain't winning. He ain't winning. Passive aggressive, not very good, dickhead Ricky is not winning this fight. Tough Ricky, maybe. To talk about the opponent, Bernardo Sopai. Sopai in the UFC is 0-1 after stepping in on short notice to fight Vinicius Oliveira. Yeah, he stepped in on short notice and still looked very good against Oliveira. Yeah, he lost, and one of the best knockouts of the year sadly happened to him, but he looked great in that fight. I think he had like 1-1, if not he was winning that fight going into that third round, so he was doing great. He did better than Ricky Simone did. Shit. Sopai looked great, and I've been waiting to see him back after that on a full camp, and now we get to see it, and I can't wait. Like, this dude showed a lot in that debut on short notice against a future top 15 dude, most likely, in Vinicius. So, let's see what he can do on a full camp against a giant step down in, like, Torcios. This dude's well-rounded, his striking's good, his ground game's good, I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. I'm excited to see him back. Let's see what this guy can do. Full camp against a step down. I'm excited. I'm very excited to see Sopai back. Let's see what happens. Not very much I can say. Great debut on short notice. Let's see how he follows it up on a full camp against a step down. That simple. The betting odds for this fight have Sopai minus 350 plus 275. I don't think I would have Sopai minus 350. I think 260, 270 would be more ideal. I don't think he should be over minus 300. Ricky is definitely more experienced than UFC. Excuse me. more experienced. But outside of that, like, Sopai should win. Like, on the feet, it's probably pretty close. On the ground, Sopai is way better. Sopai should win this fight. He's a better fighter. Ricky, it's just not Ricky anymore. He's not the guy we saw in Tough. If he can bring that guy back, then we're talking about a pretty close fight. But if we get to Ricky we've seen as of late, Sopai is going to look maybe minus 350, but I'm going to say minus 260 or 70 is more what it should be. So I think it's going to be a good co-main. It's going to be a good fight. It shouldn't be a co-main, so I'll say that much. And besides that, I'm on Sopai. He should win. Probably a decision. Maybe it's a finish. But, like, I could see him locking up a submission, or maybe even dropping Ricky. But more likely is the better fighter en route to a decision. A pretty clear one at that. And, yeah, let's see Sopai get his fucking hand raised in the UFC. For the first time. I'm excited. I'm very excited, so I'm excited to see Sopai back. I'm not excited this is a co-main, because again, we know what should be, but I'm excited to see Sopai back on a full camp. So, getting Bernardo Sopai by decision, and what could be a really fun fight, or could be a really bad call by the UFC to put this at co-main. So, knowing the UFC being a clown show that it is, it's going to be the latter. Bernardo Sopai by decision. Good to see him back on a full camp. And now, time for the main event of the evening. The last fight in the Apex till 2025. As we end the first edition of the Apex era, UFC Vegas 100, and the welterweight division, with a fight between Neil Haitian Sensation Magny versus Carlos the Nightmare Prates. Carlos Prates by knockout in the first. Yeah, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Neil is literally here to get knocked out. The UFC is trying to kill him. Michael Morales and Carlos Prates in the span of 2 months. That's not fair. Like, it's that simple. That's just not fair. Yeah, Neil's old. He just got finished 2 months ago by a guy who's not as good of a striker as Prates, or does not have as much power as Prates. He's 37 years old. This is the quickest turnaround he's had in between fights in a long time, I believe. So, cannon fighter here to build up Prates, just like he was for Morales, Ian, Burns he weren't building up, but he was just cannon fodder in that fight. Shavkat, Ponzinibbio, like, it's the Neil Magny way. He's going to fight a prospect, lose, and then if he's lucky, he gets a step down against a lesser opponent. But in this case, this is a rare time he's getting another hard fight in a row. So actually, this would be his second ever actual losing streak, because he's never. He only lost 2 in a row one other time, and that was years ago in 2013. So yeah, this would only be because this would be the first time he's lost 2 in a row in 11 years. So, because whenever he loses a fight, he gets a step down. Chiesa, Geoff Neal. Burns, Phil Rowe. Shavkat, D-Rod. Ponzinibbio, Leach. RDA, Condit, etc., etc. So, but UFC didn't give him that this time. August 24th, November 9th. That's such insane. Like, hey Neil, we know you just got smashed by Mike Morales. You want to fight another young guy? A guy who's even scarier than Morales? Protest by whatever he wants, and that's going to be a quick knockout. So I feel bad for Neil, since he is an OG, that's done a lot in the UFC, but the dude just never cannot fight prospects. So, but he's to be a top contender, you have to pass the Neil Magny test, and that is what Prates is going to do here. So most guys pass this test, some guys don't because they suck, but most top contenders, Shavkat, Morales, soon Michael Morales, Carlos Prates soon. Pons and Nibio at one point have all passed the Magny test. Now it's Prates' turn. Carlos Prates by knockout in first. The Fighting Nerds continue to be probably the best gym in MMA right now, getting their second main event win of the year. Cabrelio got his first. Time for Prates to get his first and to get into the top 15 with a brutal knockout to end UFC Vegas 100. Prates by knockout in the first. Boom! Those are my picks. To go over them one more time. Klaudia Syguła by decision. Tresean Gore by decision. Stamann Blackshear by decision. Charles Radtke by decision. Elizeu Zaleski, my lock of the night, by knockout in the first. Gaston Bolaños by decision. Denise Gomes by decision. Mansur Abdul-Malik by TKO in the second, probably. Gillian Robertson by submission in the second. Renee de Ritter by decision. Bernardo Sopai by decision. And Carlos Prates by knockout in the first. Bang. Finally, an hour and a half later, that's the card. Again, I stick with my point. It's okay. Is it amazing? No. But there's good on this card. Zaleski. Fucking... The main card's full of good fights. There's no bad fights on the main card. Good. 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 Decent. Good. Decent. Fun. Cool. Okay. Then, when you get down here, it's weak. The first three are bad. But after that, the rest of the card is really good, and I'm excited for it. UFC Vegas 100 is a nice send-off to the Apex. I hate the Apex. We should have sent it off 3 years ago when we could leave, when we could actually go to arenas again, but, you know, logic. And UFC don't know what that word means, so whatever. But that's besides the point. Apex 100, it's the last time till 2025. We won't miss you, and we won't want you back then, but whatever. Let's send the Apex out with a nice card. So, fuck the Apex, but can you at least give us a good card on the way out? Please. Besides that, not very much more I can say. It's an okay card, and I'm excited for it. And you'll hear from my predictions and my thoughts of it were right on Sunday, whenever probably 1 p.m. EST. I've been pretty consistent with that lately. So, yeah, you'll hear me recap this, my last Apex recap on Sunday, 1 p.m. EST most likely. And unless I'm forgetting to say something, which I don't believe I am, my voice is almost gone, my computer tried to shut off mid-recording, and, yes, I think that's enough signs to end this. So, as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. 100 subs go by the end of the year. And unless I'm forgetting to say something, which I don't believe I am, because I've been talking for an hour and a half. As always, God, the shit I do for y'all for 3 views. RX out. Good vibes only and always.